The movement was begun by a scientist who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent. Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered.
They want their weapon.
Lookoutfa Charlie.
I want that son of a bitch dead. I want him dead.
So I was talking to a family member yesterday about technology, which led to, Alexas and smart meters and the smart grid and all that. While we were talking about it, I remembered that I had this old video because I had brought this up to this person and was explaining it. And it doesn't seem like a lot of people remember this. So I want to get back into this old video really quick. It's very short and it's just something that happened. And what happened was when they brought the smart meter rollout, they came in and they threw them all in without telling anybody. And around here, a lot of things began to happen. For one, a lot of people, their ears started ringing. And people denied this. One smart meter tech laughed at it. One technician literally laughed at it and said, it's just like a cell phone, right? I said, well, I don't want a cell phone connected to my house either. So the whole thing was a fight for me to get an opt-out option. It makes a little bit of a difference, but it doesn't matter because old meters had magnets, ferrite magnets, and other filters on them that kept frequencies from coming into your home and dirty electricity fields from forming. Smart meters don't have that. So it is creating a dirty electricity field. The whole point is so that it can create these dirty electricity fields and your appliances can be read and monitored in real time. When you're using a curling iron, a blow dryer, your microwave, a stove, whatever, it knows what appliance that is by the frequency that it is putting out. So it is surveillance, completely and totally. And it was designed that way. So the filters have been removed, basically. We are going backwards when people believe we are going forward. And a lot of people that had smart meters put in began to immediately have large blood pressure spikes, heart palpitations, all kinds of crazy shit. And a lot of people began getting ringing in their ears. Well, a guy showed up one day and turned our smart meter back on after we had opted out. And I called and I called and I called and I waited close to a year or longer. I don't remember exactly, but a woman finally showed up to turn all my shit off because you have a smart gas meter as well. Now, when she did, she started talking, and I mean talking. So I didn't want to video her, but I said, hang on a minute. And I went and I grabbed an audio recorder and began to record that audio. And we are going to go through what she said. Now, what happened was this woman began talking about her getting ringing in her ears when she was lying down or in bed or on the couch. And when she said that, I was like, dude, I got to go get my recorder. So I grabbed it and then I brought it back up. I acted like I had a phone call or something, which was a little bit deceptive, but whatever. She was really nice. And I just wanted to document it. So here is a woman, a smart meter tech, talking about the ringing in her ears from being around smart meters all the time. Here we go.
So that's crazy. You actually hear that buzz in your ears too?
No.
That's nuts.
I do every morning.
And you're around them all the time.
All day.
So she says she has this ringing in her ears. She's around them all day, working on communicators and stuff like this. And here she goes to say it.
All I do is when these don't communicate or like stuff like this, yeah. But I just, especially, like I said, after about 20 minutes, it seems to go away.
So what she's saying here is after she gets up into a upright position, walking around, the ringing seems to go away. So if she lays down on the couch or she's lying in bed or whatever, the ringing will start to hit her. Then after she gets up and stands up and walks around, it goes away.
But then, like I said, if I lay down again,
Right.
or even if it's for 10 minutes, as soon as I lay down.
Right.
So as soon as she lays down, her ears begin to ring. Think about this. What is going on? This is the beginning of HBC. It's human body communication. It's the beginning of HBC. Mark Zuckerberg and all these freaks are obsessing about this. And they always do this. They roll this shit out and they say it's to help deaf people. It's going to help the sick. We're going to monitor blood pressure for sick people. No, it's going to get weaponized and it's going to be used to monitor everybody. So if you have criminal intent or some intent, your vitals will show it. And there's a lot of trickery and magic tricks that can be done to knowing people's vitals as well.
Yep.
But yeah, I do hear a buzzing.
So yeah, she does hear a buzzing. Now, here is where she says most of the calls she gets to turn the meter off and opt out are from people whose ears began ringing as soon as the smart meter was installed on their home.
And when I get a lot of calls, people talking about buzzing in it.
So she says that most of the calls that she gets are from people whose ears are ringing, that began ringing right away as soon as the smart meter was installed. Now here, she's talking about having the meter removed from her home. But then she says, how is that going to look? She's worried about removing it because it can affect her job. Here she says it.
Sure, I would.
Well, how's that going to look?
Right, but...
I am, no, yeah, it's okay.
Right.
So she's joking, no, yeah, it's okay, but I've got mine removed, right? This was a big deal a while back, and a nurse and a doctor had their meters switched out to an old school meter, and they shut their power off. They did the exact same thing to us. But a nurse and a doctor did it.
And you got yours shut off?
Right. Take care. Thank you for coming out.
Oh, no problem.
So I just wanted people to hear this again and realize that people know what is happening. There are people out there that know what is happening. She was really nice. She wasn't being deceptive at all. But, you know, she's worried about her job. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it, but I get it. And there are doctors and nurses out there that tried to have their meters switched out to an old school meter, knowing what was going on. And the power company came and shut them down just like they did to me. You know, people aren't talking about this a lot now because of everything else that's going on, but there's nothing old. And that's what these scumbags on the internet are doing. And they're going around and telling people that's old when something's like 3 years old, a year old, even 2 months old. Somebody go, that's old news. That's what the High Incident Project is all about. You can't follow anything because something's already happened. I don't care if it's 20 years old. I don't care if it's 9/11. It's still important. It needs to be studied. There needs to be people out there studying all this shit. That's it for now. Look out for Charlie.
I don't like the world now. I mean, before I always knew I was a son of a bitch. But now I'm the only son of a bitch I know. Hey, make way for a real human being. Get out of the way, yeah.
Look out for Charlie.
I want that son of a bitch dead. I want him dead.